There is a question most people never ask themselves until desperation forces them to their knees. Why does provision flow effortlessly to some, while others labor endlessly and barely survive? I am about to share with you something I learned during my 63 years of studying the ancient texts, a principle so powerful that when you truly understand it, you will never again approach your livelihood the same way. But I must warn you, what I am going to tell you requires something most people are unwilling to give: 7 days of unwavering commitment. Most abandon this path on the 5th day, right before the transformation occurs. They give up 3 sunrises before the miracle, 2 breaths before the breakthrough. My name is Rabbi Shimon. I have walked this earth for 83 years, and in that time, I have witnessed patterns that repeat themselves across generations. I have seen families trapped in the cycle of scarcity for decades, working their fingers raw, sacrificing everything, yet the provision never arrives. And I have seen others who appeared to have less talent, less education, fewer advantages, suddenly experience an opening so profound that abundance pursued them instead of them pursuing abundance. What makes the difference? Is it luck? Is it destiny written before birth? No, my friend, it is alignment with a spiritual law that has existed since the foundation of the world was laid. Let me tell you about my nephew Moshe. He lived in a small apartment with his wife and 4 children. He worked 3 jobs. He drove a taxi during the day, delivered packages in the evening, and cleaned office buildings at night. He slept perhaps 4 hours, if he was fortunate. His children wore clothes purchased from second-hand markets. His wife stretched every coin until it screamed for mercy. They ate rice and beans most nights because meat was a luxury they could not afford. Moshe came to me one Sabbath evening with tears streaming down his weathered face. "Uncle," he said, "I do everything right. I work harder than anyone I know. I do not gamble. I do not drink. I do not waste money on foolish things. Why am I drowning while lazy men drive new automobiles?" I looked at him for a long moment, seeing not just his exhaustion, but the exhaustion of countless generations who never understood the principle I am about to share with you. The problem, I told him, is not your effort. The problem is that you are trying to force water from a rock using only your strength. There is a different way, an ancient way, a way that requires you to cease striving for 7 days and allow the source of all provision to rearrange your circumstances. He looked at me as if I had lost my mind. "Stop working?" he asked. "Uncle, if I stop working for 7 days, we will be on the street." "I did not say stop working," I replied. "I said stop striving. There is a difference. For the next 7 mornings, you will rise before dawn. You will speak words that have carried power for 3,000 years. You will speak them with absolute certainty, not as a beggar hoping for scraps, but as a son declaring what already belongs to him. And you will not contact me until the 8th morning." I could see the skepticism in his eyes, but desperation had made him willing to attempt anything. The first morning, Moshe rose at dawn and spoke the ancient words I had given him. Nothing happened. His taxi sat in traffic, the same as always. His passengers complained about the route. His evening deliveries were delayed. The second morning he spoke the words again. His bank account remained empty. Bills piled higher. A creditor called, threatening legal action. The third morning, doubt crept into his heart like a serpent. This is foolishness, he thought. I am wasting time I could spend searching for more work. But something made him continue. Fourth morning, fifth morning, sixth morning. Each day, the words felt more hollow, more pointless. His rational mind screamed that this was insanity, that spiritual declarations could not put food on the table or pay the electric bill. On the seventh morning, he almost did not rise. His body ached. His spirit felt crushed, but he honored the commitment. He rose, and he spoke the words one final time. That afternoon, 3 things happened that defied rational explanation. First, a passenger he had driven 2 years prior tracked him down. She had moved to another country and forgotten to pay him for a long journey. She handed him an envelope with triple the original fare plus interest. She said she could not sleep until she made this right. Second, a business owner whose packages Moshe had been delivering offered him a partnership in a new delivery service. I have watched how you work, the man said. You are honest and reliable. These qualities are rare. I need someone like you. Third, and most mysterious, Moshe received notice that a relative he had never met, a distant uncle who had passed away in another country, had left him a small inheritance. Not a fortune, but enough to cover 3 months of expenses while he built the new business. Within 1 year, Moshe had left all 3 of his exhausting jobs. The delivery partnership had grown into something substantial. His family moved to a larger home. His children wore new clothes. But more than the external changes, something had shifted inside him. He no longer carried that suffocating weight of panic, that constant terror that one unexpected expense would destroy everything. Now you are wondering what words he spoke, what ancient formula unlocked this transformation. But before I reveal this, you must understand why the number 7 carries such power in the structure of creation itself. When the Eternal One formed the world, the process unfolded over 6 days. Light was separated from darkness. Waters divided from land. Vegetation sprouted. Celestial bodies positioned. Creatures filled the seas and skies and earth. Humanity breathed its first breath. Each day built upon the previous day. Each day added another layer of order to the chaos. But the work was not complete until the 7th day, the day of rest. Not rest because the Creator was weary. The Infinite One does not grow tired. Rest because completion had arrived. The 7th day declares that the work is finished, the creation is whole, the manifestation is accomplished. When you commit to 7 consecutive days of speaking these ancient words, you are not just reciting sounds. You are aligning yourself with the rhythm of creation itself. You are declaring that your situation, though it appears chaotic now, is moving toward completion, toward wholeness, toward manifestation. But here is what most people do not understand. The 7th day is not about your effort intensifying. It is about your effort ceasing and divine provision taking over. This is why the instruction seems counterintuitive to the modern mind. We have been conditioned to believe that more action equals more results. Work harder, hustle longer, sleep less. But the ancient wisdom teaches something different. It teaches that there comes a moment when you must stop rowing and raise the sail. Stop digging and allow the spring to emerge. Stop striving and let the blessing descend. The specific words I gave to Moshe come from an ancient song written by a king who understood both poverty and prosperity. This king began his life as a shepherd boy, the youngest son in his family, overlooked and dismissed. He spent years in caves, hiding from those who wanted to kill him, surviving on scraps, wondering if he would live to see another sunrise. Yet, this same man became the wealthiest monarch in the history of his nation, possessing gold and silver beyond measure, ruling with wisdom that leaders traveled months to witness. What did he discover during those years of lack that prepared him for years of abundance? He discovered that provision does not come from your skill or intelligence or connections. Provision flows from a source that existed before you were born and will exist after your body returns to dust. And when you align yourself with that source, when you recognize it as the origin of every good thing you have ever received, the flow begins. The song he wrote has 6 verses representing the 6 days of work of construction of human effort. But when you speak these 6 verses for 7 consecutive days, you create a spiritual completion. You are saying, I have done my part. I have built what I can build with my hands now. I am making space for the divine provision that exceeds anything I could accomplish through my own strength. Listen carefully to the first line of this ancient song. The Eternal One is my shepherd. Nothing shall I lack. In the original language, this is not a wish or a hope. It is a declaration of absolute certainty. The word translated as shepherd means one who provides everything necessary for the flock. Food when they are hungry, water when they are thirsty, protection when danger approaches, guidance when the path is unclear. A shepherd does not ask the sheep to provide for themselves. The sheep simply follow, and provision appears. When you speak these words, you are repositioning yourself. You are moving from the mindset of the self-sufficient struggler to the mindset of the provided-for child. This is not weakness, this is wisdom, because the truth that most people spend their entire lives resisting is this: you are not the source. You have never been the source. Every breath you take, every idea that enters your mind, every opportunity that crosses your path comes from a source beyond yourself. The moment you stop pretending to be the source and acknowledge the true source, the flow that has been blocked by your pride and fear begins moving again. The second line says, in green pastures I am made to lie down. What does this mean for someone drowning in bills and debts? It means there is a place of rest available to you even in the middle of financial chaos. Not rest that comes after the problem is solved, but rest that comes before rest. That is the foundation for the solution. The green pasture is not a location. It is a state of being. It is the ability to say, even though my bank account shows 0, even though the creditors are calling, even though I do not know how next month's rent will be paid, I am not panicking. I am resting in the certainty that the one who has provided until this moment will continue providing. This sounds impossible to the anxious mind. How can I rest when everything is falling apart? But this is exactly the point. Resting when everything is secure requires no faith. Resting when everything appears to be collapsing requires absolute trust. And it is that trust, that irrational peace in the middle of the storm, that creates the opening for supernatural provision. The third line speaks of being led beside still waters of the soul, being restored. Your soul has been stretched thin by constant worry about money. Every unexpected expense sends a jolt of terror through your body. You lie awake, calculating how to pay what you owe. You avoid phone calls because they might be collectors. You smile in public while dying inside from the pressure. Your soul is not at peace. It is fragmented, exhausted, near breaking. But when you speak these words for 7 days with genuine belief, something begins to shift. The restoration does not wait until the money arrives. The restoration begins immediately because you are no longer carrying the burden alone. You are acknowledging that there is a guide, a provider, a source that is leading you even when the path makes no sense. The still waters represent a place where you can see clearly, where the surface is not disturbed by the chaos of the world, where you can perceive the reflection of truth. Now we come to the fourth line, perhaps the most challenging for those in financial desperation. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. The valley of the shadow of death. Does that not describe exactly where you are right now? You feel like your dreams are dying, your hopes are dying, your dignity is dying under the weight of debts you cannot pay and needs you cannot meet. You are walking through a dark valley where you cannot see the way forward, where every direction seems to lead to more pain. But notice what the text does not say. It does not say the valley will disappear. It does not promise that you will be lifted out immediately. It says you will walk through it. Through means there is another side. This valley is not your permanent address. It is a passage. And the key to walking through instead of collapsing in the middle is this: I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Not I will fear no evil because I have a plan. Not I will fear no evil because I have savings. Not I will fear no evil because I am smart enough to figure this out. No, I will fear no evil because you are with me. The presence of the provider is more valuable than the provision itself. Most people get this backwards. They want the money, but not the relationship with the source of money. They want the blessing, but not the one who blesses. But if you have the source, you will always have supply. If you only have supply without the source, you will eventually run dry and return to panic. The fifth line says, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Think about what this is describing. A table loaded with abundance, set in full view of everything that opposes you. Your debts are your enemies. Your lack is your enemy. Your fear is your enemy. The people who told you that you would never succeed, they are your enemies. And right in front of all of them, while they watch a table is being prepared for you, not hidden in a back room where no one can see. Not after all opposition has been removed. No, the table is set while the enemies are still present, as if to say, watch what the source can do, even when circumstances say it is impossible. This is why you must not wait until conditions are perfect to begin the 7-day cycle. Your enemies, your obstacles, your debts they are all watching. And when the provision comes, when the breakthrough arrives, they will be forced to witness that it did not come from your cleverness or your connections. It came from a source they do not understand and cannot control. The final line declares, "Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Eternal One forever." Follow. The word in the original text carries the sense of pursuit, of chasing. Goodness and mercy are not things you have to hunt down. They hunt you, they chase you, they pursue you. Most people spend their lives running after blessing. But when you align with the source, blessing runs after you. Now let me give you the specific instructions for this 7-day cycle. Because if you do not follow this precisely, you will not experience the full power. Each morning for 7 consecutive days, you must rise early, not whenever you feel like it, not when it is convenient. Early, before the demands of the day flood your mind, before you check your phone or your email or your bank account. In the quiet of the early morning, when the world is still asleep, you speak this ancient song out loud, not in your head, out loud. There is power in the spoken word. When you speak, you are not just thinking or wishing. You are releasing sound waves into the atmosphere. You are making a declaration that heaven and earth can hear. Speak it slowly. Speak it with emphasis. Speak it as if you absolutely believe every syllable. The Eternal One is my shepherd. Nothing shall I lack. In green pastures I am made to lie down. Beside still waters I am led. My soul is restored. I am guided in paths of righteousness. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Eternal One forever. 7 days, no breaks, no excuses. If you miss a day, you must start over from day 1. This is not punishment. This is the law of completion. The power is in finishing the cycle. Now here is what will happen, and you must prepare yourself for this, or you will fail. The first 3 days you will feel nothing. Your circumstances will not change. Your bank account will look the same. Your creditors will still call. Your fear will still whisper. On the 4th day, doubt will crash over you like a wave. This is stupid, your mind will say. This is not working. I am wasting my time. I need to be out there hustling, making things happen, forcing solutions. This is the moment where most people quit. They are 3 days away from the breakthrough and they abandon the process. Do not be like them. On the 4th day, when doubt is loudest, speak the words with even more conviction. Shout them if you must. Declare them through tears if necessary. But do not stop. On the 5th and 6th days, small things may begin shifting. A client you had forgotten about might contact you. An opportunity you had not noticed might appear. A person you had written off might reach out. Do not dismiss these small signs. They are the first drops before the rain. They are evidence that the spiritual realm is responding to your declaration. And on the 7th day, when you speak the words for the final time, you are sealing the cycle. You are closing the circle. You are announcing to every realm, seen and unseen, that the work is complete. After the seventh day, your job is to watch and to act on opportunities that present themselves. The provision will not fall from the sky as physical coins, though stranger things have happened. More often, it comes through a door you did not know existed, through a person you had not expected, through an idea that suddenly crystallizes in your mind with perfect clarity. But there is one more element that multiplies the power of this 7-day cycle, and most people overlook it entirely. During these 7 days, you must also give. I can hear your objection already. Rabbi Shimon, I have nothing to give. That is precisely why you must give. Giving when you have abundance is easy. It costs you nothing emotionally. But giving when you are in lack, that is a declaration of war against the spirit of scarcity that has held you captive. Give what you have. If you have money, give money, even if it is a small amount. If you do not have money, give time. Help someone who needs assistance. If you cannot give time, give words. Encourage someone who is discouraged. Write a message to someone who is struggling. The principle is this: when you give, you are creating a flow. Abundance does not come to stagnant pools. It comes to rivers that are moving. If you are only receiving or trying to receive, you are building a dam. But when you give, while you are also receiving, you become a conduit, a channel, and the flow accelerates. I know a woman named Ruth who lived in a tiny room with her daughter. She earned barely enough to survive. When she heard about the 7-day cycle, she decided to add this element of daily giving. The first day, she shared half her lunch with a homeless person. The second day, she spent an hour helping an elderly neighbor clean their apartment. The third day, she sent an encouraging message to 5 people she knew were struggling. Each day she gave something, even though she had almost nothing. And on the 10th day, after completing the 7-day cycle, she received a phone call. A company she had interviewed with 6 months earlier, a company that had rejected her, called to say their first choice candidate had quit, and they wanted to offer her the position. The salary was double what she had been earning. But that was not all. 2 weeks later, she received notice that she qualified for a housing program she had applied for a year before and had forgotten about. Within 90 days, her entire situation had transformed. Was this luck? Was this coincidence? Or did she activate a spiritual law that says when you give with a generous heart, while simultaneously declaring the words of provision, you create a magnetic field that attracts abundance from directions you never anticipated? Now I want you to do something. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine how your life will feel 90 days from now if you complete this 7-day cycle with absolute faith. Imagine opening your bank account and seeing a balance that makes you exhale in relief. Imagine paying your bills without that knot of anxiety in your stomach. Imagine buying groceries without calculating every item. Imagine helping a family member who needs support. Imagine sleeping through the night without waking in panic about money. Can you feel it? That sensation you're experiencing right now is not fantasy. It is a preview of what is coming if you will walk this path. Now open your eyes. That future you just glimpsed is not a distant dream. It is 7 days away if you will commit. The next 7 days can be the turning point of your financial life, or they can be 7 more days of the same struggle you have been enduring. The choice is entirely yours. If you are ready, I want you to make a declaration right now. Say it out loud wherever you are. My cup is overflowing. Nothing shall I lack. Goodness and mercy are pursuing me. Say it. Even if you do not believe it, yet say it, because faith is not a feeling. Faith is a decision to speak truth before circumstances confirm it. Your season of scarcity is ending. Your season of abundance is beginning, not because you are clever or deserving or more spiritual than others, but because you are aligning with a law that has existed since the foundation of the world. A law that says when you acknowledge the source and speak the ancient words of provision with unwavering conviction, the flow that has been blocked will begin moving again. Start today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Rise early tomorrow morning and speak the words. Do it for 7 consecutive days. Give something each day. Watch what happens. And when the breakthrough comes, when the doors open, when the provision flows from unexpected sources, remember this moment. Remember that you made a decision to trust something beyond what your eyes could see. May the source of all blessing open the storehouses of heaven over your life. May you never again know the terror of lack. May your children witness your transformation and learn that there is a way through the valley, a path through the darkness, a light that never goes out. The table is being prepared. Your enemies are watching. And soon they will see what happens when a human being stops striving and allows divine provision to take over. Nothing shall you lack. Your cup is overflowing. Begin.